The tables have turned, and the tension in the automotive world has reached a boiling point. Many of you were expecting this development, but Mate Armstrong and FXG have officially responded to Mate Rimac, the Bugatti CEO, following his 10-minute video explanation. Their responses have left Rimac defensive and under mounting pressure. What Mate and FXG just revealed completely changes everything we thought we knew about this Chiron rebuild saga. Before diving into their responses, let's quickly recap what Rimac said in his video. He addressed the swirling rumors about Bugatti's service costs and explained that developing components for limited production hypercars cost tens of millions of euros, which is why parts carry such premium prices. But Rimac's central argument focused squarely on safety, positioning Bugatti's parts refusal as a protective measure rather than corporate policy. Mate Armstrong responded directly in Rimac's comment section, and his response strikes a remarkable balance between respectful acknowledgement and firm disagreement. Mate wrote that there is no doubt Bugatti makes amazing and reliable cars, and he expressed genuine gratitude for even getting a chance to work on one. He clarified that it was Alex's decision not to have the car repaired at Bugatti, and when Alex asked him to take on the project, Mate wasn't going to refuse that opportunity. This opening demonstrates Mate's character. He acknowledges Bugatti's engineering excellence without reservation and shows authentic appreciation for the privilege of working on a Chiron. This isn't someone attacking Bugatti's quality or reputation. Mate clearly respects what they build and understands the significance of these machines in automotive history. But then Mate addresses the practical reality of his situation. He admits openly that the car is never going to return to factory specification without help from Bugatti or genuine parts from them. However, he now has no option but to try to make it work the best and as safely as he possibly can. This statement is crucial for understanding Mate's position. He's admitting up front that without Bugatti's cooperation, the finished car won't meet the original factory standards. He's not making bold claims about replicating Bugatti's precision engineering perfectly. Instead, he's making a commitment to do the best possible job with the resources actually available to him. Mate then provides a specific example that illustrates his approach to safety. He points out that he could have chosen not to reinstall the airbags at all. The car could have been built to full-track car specification, stripped of safety equipment, and intended only for controlled environments. But that's not the path he's chosen. Instead, Mate and the team are thinking outside the box to find solutions that maintain road legality and passenger safety. This example directly counters any suggestion that Mate is approaching this rebuild carelessly. He's actively choosing the harder path of maintaining safety systems, rather than taking the easier route of building a track-only vehicle. Every decision is being made with road use and safety as primary considerations. Mate's closing statement is what makes his entire response so effective and memorable. He commits to trying his hardest to get the car back on the road, while acknowledging that he understands Bugatti's decision not to stand behind it. But he leaves an open door, adding that if they ever wanted to help, they know who to call. This conclusion accomplishes something remarkable. Mate keeps the possibility of Bugatti cooperation alive, while making it absolutely clear that the rebuild is happening regardless of their position. He demonstrates understanding of Bugatti's corporate stance without demanding they change it. He simply disagrees with their approach and is proceeding anyway on his own terms. The community response to Mate's comment speaks volumes. Over 10,000 likes accumulated rapidly, showing massive support for his respectful but determined stance. People recognize the difference between someone attacking a brand and someone simply pursuing their craft despite obstacles. What makes Mate's response truly brilliant is the measured tone throughout. He's not defensive despite being publicly called out by a CEO. He's not angry despite having his work questioned. He's simply stating facts. FXG asked him to do this rebuild. Mate agreed to take on the challenge, and now he's committed to executing it as safely as possible without Bugatti's assistance. There's an important distinction Mate draws that many commentators have missed. Acknowledging that the car won't be factory perfect is not the same as admitting it will be unsafe. There exists a substantial middle ground between Bugatti's exacting factory standards and a dangerous vehicle. That middle ground is exactly where this rebuild will land, functional, safe, and road legal, even if it doesn't carry Bugatti's official blessing. FXG posted a complete video response to Rimac, and the revelations within it completely reframed this entire situation. The context we were missing before suddenly becomes clear, and the narrative shifts dramatically. First, FXG made clear that he agrees safety is genuinely important. When he crashed the Chiron, every safety system worked exactly as designed. The airbags deployed correctly. The seatbelts locked and held him in position. Every engineering precaution functioned perfectly. Those systems kept him alive during a violent impact, and he expresses sincere gratitude for that protection. He's alive today because Bugatti's engineers did their jobs exceptionally well. But then FXG presents his core argument, and it directly undermines Rimac's safety justification. He addresses Rimac directly, asking him not to take the response personally, while firmly stating his position. He agrees entirely that safety is the most important consideration when driving. The engineering work behind the Chiron kept him safe during the accident, with airbags, seatbelt systems, and structural integrity all performing flawlessly. He credits those engineers and their safety precautions for his survival and his ability to tell this story today. However, FXG fundamentally disagrees with the premise that refusing to sell parts is actually a safety measure. He calls this position disingenuous and argues that it actually increases the safety concerns surrounding this vehicle rather than reducing them. His reasoning is straightforward and difficult to counter. If Bugatti refuses to sell parts for this repair, the team will find third-party, fourth-party, or fifth-party solutions to figure it out because they will fix this vehicle regardless. The car is going to be rebuilt whether Bugatti participates or not. The only question is whether that rebuild happens with genuine parts and proper specifications or with improvised alternatives. By refusing parts, Bugatti forces alternative solutions that they cannot control or monitor. If safety were genuinely the primary concern, selling parts with proper specifications would create a safer outcome than forcing independent fabrication. The parts refusal doesn't prevent the rebuild. It only makes a rebuild less controlled and potentially less aligned with original engineering standards. FXG then revealed something critical that most observers had overlooked. When Bugatti's technician inspected the crashed Chiron for insurance purposes, they had the authority to classify it however they deemed appropriate. They could have labeled it a certificate of destruction, indicating the vehicle was too damaged to ever safely return to the road. That classification would have ended any possibility of legal repair and registration. But that's not what happened. The Bugatti technician examined the damage and issued a salvage title instead. A salvage title specifically means a vehicle can be repaired and returned to road use. It's an official determination that repair is viable and that the car can eventually pass inspection and receive legal registration. This creates a significant contradiction in Bugatti's position. If their own technician, someone with intimate knowledge of Chiron engineering and safety requirements, didn't consider this car beyond repair, how can Rimac now claim it's too dangerous for independent restoration? The company's own representative already made the determination that repair was possible. Then came the bombshell that Rimac's video completely omitted. FXG revealed that he and Rimac had a phone conversation where specific promises were made. According to FXG, Rimac personally told him that he had his word they would figure out how to get parts delivered so the car could be rebuilt safely. Rimac also promised they would figure out how to send a technician in person to ensure the work was being done properly. This wasn't a vague expression of goodwill. These were specific commitments to supply parts and provide technical oversight. Rimac knew from the very beginning that Mate Armstrong would be handling the mechanical work on this vehicle. The plan discussed was transparent documentation of the entire rebuild process with Bugatti's active cooperation and professional supervision. Then, just 24 hours after that phone conversation, everything changed. The promises evaporated. Bugatti implemented a complete parts refusal with no explanation for the reversal. Something happened in those 24 hours that shifted Bugatti's position from active cooperation to total opposition. But FXG doesn't know what triggered the change. This revelation completely reframes Rimac's public video. He presented Bugatti's refusal as a consistent safety position, a principled stance the company has always maintained. But FXG's account reveals that Bugatti initially agreed to participate in this rebuild before reversing course without any explanation. The safety argument wasn't the original position. It appears to be justification constructed after the reversal. FXG's conclusion carries significant weight. He states simply that he's very big on keeping his word and questions whether Rimac shares that value. The implication is clear. Promises were made and then broken, and now public statements are being crafted to obscure that fact. FXG also addressed the 3D printing controversy and the airbag concerns that Rimac raised in a video. The 3D printing comments that circulated were a troll, internet content from a 25-year-old having fun online, rather than a serious engineering plan. Taking those comments literally and building corporate policy responses around them seems disproportionate at best. But then FXG dropped information that directly challenges Rimac's technical arguments. Regarding parts like airbags, FXG explains they really don't need Bugatti to sell them anymore because they can source them independently for a fraction of the price.